Well, good afternoon. So far afternoon, not yet. I'm very happy to be with you now. I'm fine like this. I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Hossam Ragheb, and I come from Egypt, quite a long way. And I work in the Ministry of State for Administrative Development. And I'm also heading the National Management Institute, which is taking care of the implementation of the e-government in Egypt for the last sort of 10 years or so. Well, this is quite a brief introduction about what I'm doing now. But to give you a bigger picture, I've been in government only for the last 3 years. Before that, I worked on the other side of the net, which is the ICT providers. So I spent some 10 years in IBM, 5 years in Oracle, and 5 years in Vodafone, and then decided to move to the other side of the net to see how people from the government see vendors and providers. And I was very happy to be part of the panel where everybody around is sort of technology provider and consulting providers. So maybe I would like to talk about services, government services, from quite a different perspective. First of all, I would like to know how many IT people in the audience. Can you raise our hands, please? IT people. Okay. Public servants. Government people, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now so more IT people than government people. Okay, let's talk about the government service. What is the government service? Some people delivering something to someone in a way, and what is the difference between this service and any other service? What is the difference between the government service and any corporate service? Do you think that a government service is mandatory? Yes, it is. Is there a monopoly there? Yes, there is. Is it pleasant? Is it something nice that people like to have? I guess not, because nobody's happy paying the bill or paying the tax or getting a driving license or anything like this. So it is a mandatory service, monopoly, not a pleasant service. Well, tough start, I think. So if you want to try to develop and make this service reach people nicely and keep people satisfied about it, it is a big challenge, really big challenge. If you look at any other service from any other corporate, you might find it nice, pleasant. You have some competitors, you have other people that you can go for. If you don't like this mobile from this company, you go and get another mobile from another company. But if you need to have a birth certificate for your kid, you need to get it from the government, even if you need to queue for 2 days or something. I was very astonished when I heard the numbers throughout the morning about the number of population in India. This is my first visit to India. And we always in Egypt say that, wow, we are 80 million, and what a tough job to do to serve 80 million people. And now I know that this is a big joke. I will tell them when I go back that, guys, you're joking. We're just 80 million people. You can just go in India and disappear somewhere there. So I can imagine how difficult things are here in India to deliver services. Now, if we think about the ICT and what the ICT can do for the government services, well, the government services to be enhanced or developed, we need to look at 3 different axes. The first is admin reforms. The second is channels to take these services to people. And the third is what is called G2G, government to government, and the integration of the data between the government agencies and each others. And by the way, I heard this morning something very nice about G2C and to transform it to G plus C, which is quite funny. Anyway, it's nice. It doesn't make much difference because these social media things, I mean, if you're talking about 1.2 billion, I'm not sure how can you listen to 1.2 billion opinion, and usually people about governments, they don't have good opinion. So ICT can help in doing the administrative reforms because of some of the workflows and some of the new technologies into taking the data from a place to another place, and the scanning technology and the communication technology and all of this stuff. The channels, we've used the internet as the basic channel, and then we've used the mobile as another channel, and then we've used some of the other technologies based on the communication as well to have some kiosks and some call center services. We've been using all kinds of channels. The utilization is not yet wow, but it is progressing, it is increasing, it is getting better. It definitely depends on the penetration of the ICT and the literacy and the communication infrastructure and facility to all of the country, which takes a little bit of time. We had some big jumps. I mean, last January, not this one, the one before, 2011, we had this revolution that was sort of based on the social media. So we had the numbers increasing of the people using the internet from some 4 or 5 million to some 18 million in 11 days, which is magnificent change. So this is one of the positive signs of the January revolution. How many people here have heard about this revolution in Egypt? Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. Everyone? Oh, really? Okay, now tomorrow we'll have elections, and this is another form of the e-government services, because we have made the biggest IT project, I think, before I see India. So I mean, the biggest IT project in our region, which we have manipulated something like 50 million records for voters and distributed that over electoral votes places with some 14,000 judges, and giving the information to every voter around the internet and the mobile and the call center. So we had something like 20 million inquiry in some 3-4 days. I know that these numbers might sound too small for you guys. So when I say these numbers anywhere else, people are like, wow, 20 million inquiry. But I mean, if you guys are 1.2 billion, so what?
Our voting centers are in millions, for your information.
Excuse me?
Voting centers are in millions.
Millions. Okay, so we have some 14,000 voting center, and we believe that this is the biggest number that anyone have heard of, but that possibly is in our region. And the benefit of going around the world is to understand that sometimes our scale is much smaller than we think. Anyway, so we had so many successes in Egypt, and we have so many e-government success, and lots of awards by UN and by so many other organizations. Still, we can say that to be really realistic and pragmatic here, there are tons of projects that have been done. Some of them were very big success. Some of them were just spending some money and giving it to IT providers. And maybe it's about time to do what our colleague from KPMG said about evaluation and seeing what went wrong and trying to put it right and go on forward. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of objectivity to try to deliver the service, as I explained to you at the very beginning, that the service is not something that people like. And I think, like Egypt, like any place in the world, usually people don't like government. This is nature of human being. I am from government, but I mean, when I am a person who is getting a service from the government, I feel like these guys are too slow. I mean, why they're asking for all this money to get this service and all this stuff? So usually people are not happy with the kind of service that they're getting from the government. It's not the type of thing that people would feel grateful after. We had a lot of services that were enhanced, making less cost on people, something like 20% to 60% reduction in cost to get the service in the last couple of years. But again, during the revolution, nobody remembered that some services were enhanced. People remembered that they were not happy with the government. This is the nature of things. This is how things are. And you have to accept it like this. There are some kind of services that you deliver it well, then people are, okay, fine. You don't deliver it, then it's a big disaster. People are always questioning the cost that they are going to pay, the time that they're going to wait to get the service, and the quality of the service. Now, the fact here that the infrastructure and the back office processes are not only in Egypt, I mean in any government around the world, is quite old. And the changes in these steps to delivering the service from the back office side needs a lot of study and a lot of changes. And the problem with governments, it is very difficult to change, and we don't really see some of the big four, as were mentioned, that have the patience and the, let's call it the determination to work with government and to stay for a few years to change one step. It is much easier to work with corporates and get things done in the back office. So this is just a joke, Mr. KPMG, so I'm just joking. So most consulting firms would prefer to deliver their consulting services to multinational firms and commercial corporates rather than government, which takes ages to make some little change in one of the steps in the back office. Anyway, I'm very happy again to be with you guys, and I enjoyed very much what I've heard this morning, and I enjoyed as well the fact that 1 + 1 = 35 here in India, which is something new. And I don't know how many of you attended the first session, but there was this part about 1 + 1 = 35, and this is the second thing that I'll take with me back to Cairo. And I'm going to be here for the rest of the day and most probably tomorrow, and I'm very willing to answer any of your questions. I didn't go through my lengthy presentation because I believe that I'm keeping you guys from lunch, and you've been listening to all kinds of sales pitches in the morning, and I hope that I didn't take longer than I should. Thank you very much.